I had a one-night stand with a lady named Veronica Karimi in 2017. We were both final-year students at Kabarak University. In fact, that night that we slept together, we were at the very last week of our stay at the university. We had met at a club outside the school compound. Veronica was tall, dark in complexion with an explosive figure. That night when we met at the club was so drunk. We danced, had more drinks, as we were particularly excited to finish the 4 tough years of university. At around 4 a.m. that morning, I asked Veronica to spend at my place as it was so late for her to struggle back to her hostel room alone. She agreed, and like they say, the rest is history. We were hungry for each other. The passion between our bodies was on fire, and to be honest, I don't remember if we even used protection. Anyways, a month after that night, Veronica called me and with panic in her voice, she told me that she had missed her periods. I blocked her instantly. Just like me, Veronica knew too well that was just a one-night stand and that was it. Why was she getting pregnant? What happened to P2? What happened to taking caution the morning after? At some point, I even felt that she wanted to blackmail me with pregnancy so that I begin sending her unnecessarily monies. Anyway, after I blocked her, she kept sending me long messages. How she regretted the night. How she can't terminate the pregnancy. How she just wanted psychological support, how her parents would disown her if she got rid of the child. Blah blah, I didn't care. Come on, it was just a one night. Where was all these pregnancy texts coming from? I relocated to Nairobi, and I never heard from Veronica Karimi again. She got tired of calling and text me. I don't know if she kept the baby. I don't know if she terminated it. Fast forward, I got a job as an accountant with a real estate agency, and years later, I got married to the love of my life, Kathy, who I met and decided to settle with. Kathy was a nurse by profession, humble, sweet, incredibly gracefully, and a homely lady. By all means, she had won my heart, and for sure I knew I wanted to be with her, to grow old with her, to bring up children with her. Unfortunately, my Kathy underwent a fibroid removal surgery 3 weeks after our wedding, and this severely affected her ability to bear children. We tried and tried and tried. But sadly, my dear wife Kathy couldn't conceive. This really broke her. We visited dozens of doctors. We knocked at the doors of many gynecologists and experts. Some gave us hope to keep trying and trying. Others took our money with the promise that the medication they gave us would help her conceive. After 4 years of childlessness, my wife Kathy and I were devastated. As a man, I was felt completely defeated by life. Having a child is every man's pride. But living with the painful knowledge that you and your wife may never have children was so scaring, I was tempted to reach out to Veronica Karimi, the lady I had a one-night stand with 6 years ago, and claimed to have gotten pregnant. I was tempted to call her number and see if the pregnancy was real, and if at all she kept the baby. At least that way, I would secretly know I have my blood somewhere. But that would totally damage my wife. I felt lost. Silently, I prayed that Veronica may have kept the pregnancy and that one day in the fullness of time I would get to see him or her. I know it was wrong of me to deny the pregnancy and run away. I was young and stupid. Yes? I started drinking alcohol heavily. I could go to clubs every evening just to drink myself off and forget the pain of childlessness. I couldn't betray my wife Kathy by marrying a second wife. We had taken an oath in church to remain true to each other, no matter what. So alcohol became my second wife. One day, I went to Rongai to attend a birthday party for a colleague of mine. It was a great night of partying and merrymaking. Alcohol was in its excess, and we danced to the tunes of life. I temporarily forgot my misery. I just wanted massive distraction, and parties really helped. At around 2 a.m. in the morning, I requested for an Uber to take me back home from Rongai to Langata, where I was staying. The distance was quite long, and to kill boredom, I struck a conversation with the driver. He was a pleasant guy who was in his mid-30s. We spoke about everything in general and nothing in particular. He told me life had been hard for him. That's why he worked during the day as a messenger and at night as an Uber driver. We blamed Ruto's economy for everything bad in our lives. He painfully narrated to me that he had a sick son at the hospital, and every shilling he made from Uber was going to the hospital bills. I really felt for him. As we were getting to Langata, he told me that my Uber fee was 960 and that instead of sending it to his M-Pesa, he gave me his wife's number to send the cash directly to her so that she could handle bills at the hospital where his son was admitted. When he gave me the number and upon sending the money, I immediately recognized the name that M-Pesa message showed. Veronica Karimi. I also recognized the number too. I had just sent the money to Veronica Karimi, my university fling, my one-night stand lady who claimed to have carried my kid. I begun shaking in this car with a trembling voice. I asked the Uber driver if this Veronica wife of his was tall, dark, big eyes and from Nakuru. He said yes while shocked. I also asked him if this son that was hospitalized was biologically his, or he married Veronica as a single mum. With shock, confusion and stammers, he told me that he was just taking care of Veronica's son as his own since he loved her and we're a couple. I immediately asked the driver to turn around and rush me to that hospital where Veronica's son was admitted. I needed to get there now. That kid was mine. Veronica Karimi had kept the baby. I wasn't childless after all. I needed to get to that hospital immediately and see my blood. My heir, my only hope of being called Daddy. I was going to do anything to make sure that kid got first-class medication and be discharged. I just wanted to get there ASAP. The Uber driver saw the urgency in my voice and maybe thought I was Veronica's cousin or brother or something. He didn't ask questions. He drove me to the hospital, and as I rushed to the ward where I was told he was at, I met Veronica at the corridor crying. She saw me and ran towards me and fell so hard on chest while crying painfully. Her now husband was so confused. She cried and cried. She cursed me for abandoning her. She accused me of using her. But most sadly, she painfully accused me of abandoning my own blood, my own son. It's at this point that one of the doctors came to where we were standing and painfully said, "We tried our best, but we lost the young boy an hour ago due to sickle cell complications. Veronica fainted." I stood there, lost and defeated. I wasn't going to be a father after all. Karma is real. A better world is possible if we go back home and love your blood. Don't be like me.